Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at some extremely spicy battles in the Open Master League featuring an XL Shundo ZAPDOS and an XL Chill Drive Genesect. These battles were submitted to the channel by a member of the community, so many thanks for the battle submission. ZAPDOS is an electric flying type Pokemon with the moveset of Thunder Shock, Drill Peck, and Thunderbolt, and this trainer against all odds uses it to great success. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and check out ZAPDOS in action in the Master League. Hopping into the first match, picking up a pretty decent lead ZAPDOS into Mewtwo. This is a win for ZAPDOS in the 1 and the 2 shield, so ZAPDOS is definitely going to be staying in here. Mewtwo fires off the Psy Strike, that deals quite a lot of damage. ZAPDOS is going to return fire with the Drill Peck. Drill Peck able to land, doing quite a lot of damage to the Mewtwo. ZAPDOS is able to outpace Mewtwo in this matchup, firing off a second Drill Peck. Mewtwo commits the shield. Mewtwo continuing to overfarm. They're going to fire off another Psy Strike, wanting to grab that shield back. Psy Strike gets the shield. ZAPDOS able to outpace. Does Mewtwo want to give up the final shield? They do not. ZAPDOS able to win lead. In back is Yveltal. Yveltal able to farm down. In comes Buzzwole. Buzzwole walls Yveltal unless they have Hurricane, and it appears they do not. They switch in their final Pokemon, which is Dialga, and Dialga gets absolutely shredded by Buzzwole. First superpower gets the shield. No shield remaining for the second superpower. In comes Genesect. Genesect able to Fury Cutter down. Back in comes Yveltal. Yveltal has a lot of energy. They go for the Focus Blast. That deals a ton of damage, but Genesect able to hang on. Techno Blast taking out Yveltal, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading ZAPDOS into Landorus. Honestly, Landorus is a very scary Pokemon for this entire team to see. ZAPDOS is going to stay in to start, build up quite a bit of energy, and then fire off the Drill Peck. Drill Peck only hits for neutral, but Landorus not the tankiest. That Drill Peck does get it quite low. This is easily enough for a Stone Edge. Immediate shield from the ZAPDOS. ZAPDOS is going to return fire with this Drill Peck, and this should just about take out the Landorus. Landorus commits the shield, and a save switch into Genesect. Genesect farming up, but this Landorus is absolutely loaded. Landorus fires off the superpower. That does so much damage, and they're firing off another superpower. Does Genesect decide to commit the shield? Yes, they do. Opponent is going to bring out Yveltal, baiting with the Magnet Bomb. This is an incredibly risky bait. Magnet Bomb gets the shield. Genesect not able to reach the Techno Blast. Yveltal firing off the Dark Pulse right away. A nice play by the opponent. Back in comes ZAPDOS. But ZAPDOS does have access to Thunderbolt, but they're going to bank it and make a beautiful catch onto Buzzwole. Oh my goodness. Buzzwole does wall Yveltal unless Yveltal is running Hurricane. Yveltal farming up a ton of energy. It appears they're not running Hurricane, which is great news for Buzzwole. They go for the Focus Blast. That does quite a lot of damage. Buzzwole standing strong, firing back with the Lunge. Lunge takes down Yveltal. In the back, the opponent has Zacian. And honestly, ZAPDOS with energy looks like it may be able to actually close out this game. They are going for an aggressive farm down, and they are going to be double debuffed to do so, as Buzzwole is able to fire off another Lunge. Honestly, the damage is really adding up, and Zacian is going to fire off some energy. Zacian goes for the Play Rough. That KOs. Back in comes the Landorus. ZAPDOS firing off the Drill Peck. Drill Peck KOs the Landorus. Back in comes Zacian. Zacian, oh my goodness, is this going to be enough to KO? Play Rough, ZAPDOS able to hang on and reach the Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt will be taking out the Zacian, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading ZAPDOS into another Landorus lead. Definitely not a comfortable Pokemon for this team to see, but as we saw last game with the team effort, it is beatable. ZAPDOS farms up, loses CMP, commits the shield. Landorus baits with a superpower, and that's not a decision I agree with. While it is a bait, so it's more energy efficient, this Landorus is now debuffed in terms of attack and defense. ZAPDOS fires off a second Drill Peck. That does quite a bit more damage than it typically would. In comes Buzzwole, and the opponent responds with Yveltal. Unless Yveltal is running Hurricane, then this opponent just doesn't have a good response to a Buzzwole whatsoever. Buzzwole continuing to farm up. Yveltal, this is easily enough for a Hurricane. Buzzwole lets it through. They're running Focus Blast, so they must just be extremely weak to Buzzwole. Buzzwole going for the lunge. The undercharge as well, and it's a perfect undercharge, giving Buzzwole slightly more farm. And in the back, they have Kyogre. This is a good matchup for Buzzwole. Buzzwole fires off the lunge. That does quite a lot of damage. Kyogre looking for the farm down, but Buzzwole says no. Able to reach a superpower. Superpower gets the Kyogre low, and Buzzwole is able to farm it down. Back in comes Landorus. Buzzwole on an absolute rampage right now, reaching yet another move. Superpower gets the shield. You can just bring in Genesect to absorb the damage here, and then ZAPDOS will be able to finish off this game. They fire off the Stone Edge. Genesect able to tank it. They go for the superpower as well. In comes ZAPDOS. Opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Hopping into the next match, we need ZAPDOS into Zacian. Definitely nice to catch the Zacian on the lead, because Buzzwole would definitely not appreciate going up against it. ZAPDOS overfarms massively and is going to fire off the Drill Peck. Drill Peck gets a shield from the Zacian. Opponent safe switches into Dialga, and Dialga will be met with Buzzwole. Buzzwole, no baiting here, going straight for the superpower. Superpower able to land and takes down the Dialga. Back in comes Zacian. Zacian has a ton of energy. Buzzwole's debuffed, so it's just gonna let itself go, and back in comes ZAPDOS. ZAPDOS going for the nuke. Thunderbolt able to land big damage onto the Zacian. Zacian is going to be firing off a move and an immediate shield from the ZAPDOS. ZAPDOS is going to overfarm slightly and then fire off the Drill Peck. This should just about take out the Zacian from here. Drill Peck takes out the Zacian. In the back, it is Excadrill. The Genesect Exca matchup is entirely reliant on Genesect landing the Techno Blast. Genesect continuing to farm up, going for the Magnet Bomb bait. Absolutely needs to get the shield here. Magnet Bomb does get the shield, and that should allow Genesect to be able to reach the Techno Blast. Techno Blast able to get there, loses CMP, shields up the Drill Run. Techno Blast is going to be able to land. This is going to hit for some heavy neutral damage, nearly taking out Exca. Exca is going to fire off a move, but they do not have the back-to-back here. Exca, Drill Run, takes out Genesect. In comes ZAPDOS. ZAPDOS gets to the Drill Peck. Drill Peck will be taking out the Excadrill, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading ZAPDOS into another Zacian lead. Same game plan as last time, going to be staying in this lead to try and keep the Zacian away from the Buzzwole in the back. ZAPDOS overfarming quite a bit and gonna fire off the Drill Peck. This will do some solid chip damage onto the Zacian. Zacian lets it through. Zacian is now gonna start firing back with charge moves. Zacian goes for the Wild Charge. ZAPDOS could have CMP'd on the second, but instead chooses to go for the extra Thunder Shock, and that will allow Zacian to switch out here. They save switch into Metagross. Metagross is going to be met with the Genesect. Genesect with this moveset, unfortunately, its charge moves can only hit for resisted damage versus the Metagross, whereas Metagross is able to hit for some hard-hitting neutral damage with the Earthquake. Earthquake able to land. Genesect going for the Techno Blast, able to get there. This is going to be resisted, but Techno Blast is a pretty powerful move, as that's able to get the Metagross quite low. In comes ZAPDOS. ZAPDOS tried to go for the Drill Peck, but unfortunately loses CMP to Metagross. That is really unfortunate. It looks like it didn't end up triggering the CMP tie after all, so able to fire off a Drill Peck, KO the Metagross, but this ZAPDOS is down 2 shields to 0, and unfortunately, there's still that Zacian to deal with. Back in comes the Zacian. ZAPDOS fires off the Drill Peck. Zacian commits the shield. Zacian continues to farm, and they're going to be able to reach a Wild Charge. Wild Charge is going to KO. It's all up to Buzzwole. In the back, it's Ho-Oh, and that is a good game. Hopping into the next match, leading ZAPDOS into Buzzwole, the absolute dream lead. And even better, Buzzwole is staying in. ZAPDOS going for the Drill Peck straight away. This will hit for double super effective damage, so Buzzwole is forced to shield this. They save switch into Primarina, and Primarina is going to be met with the Genesect. Genesect is able to spam out these neutral Magnet Bombs, which are going to be doing a lot of damage to Primarina. Magnet Bomb able to land. Primarina farming up, but it's just so slow to get the charge move. moves, Genesect is able to reach a second Magnet Bomb, taking out the Primarina before it even has the chance to get a charge move off. Back in comes Buzzwole. Buzzwole is going to fire off a move. Interestingly enough, they're running Power Up Punch. Genesect, not wanting to get farmed down before it gets off another move, is going to fire off the Magnet Bomb. That does quite a lot of damage. And here, he's actually going to bring in his own Buzzwole, possibly anticipating that it could be Buzzwole Double Charm. Opponent goes for the lunge. In the back, it's Togekiss, and Double Thunderbolt should mean game over here. He's actually going for the bait. When you're up shields, I'm not a big fan of baiting because your opponent has incentive to call a bait. That is unfortunate. And now he's going to be forced to go for the triple Drill Peck. Firing off the second, that gets the shield. Zapdos, incredibly low. Opponent fires off a move. He is going to be able to fire off the Drill Peck here, but he is so low that honestly, I think he might get countered down by the opponent's Buzzwole. Drill Peck KOs the Togekiss. Back in comes Buzzwole. Buzzwole does get the counter down, and this is a little scary. He does have the health advantage and the shield advantage, but the opponent does have a lot of energy. Lunge is able to land. He's going to fire off a lunge of his own. This is going to be getting the opponent quite low. Lunge does get the opponent quite low. A second lunge would come close to KOing from this range. Commits the shield. Gets baited with the power-up punch. Oh my goodness, this is not good. Buzzwole able to counter down and win an incredibly close game. Hopping into the final match, leading Zapdos into Kyogre, and Kyogre is staying in here, which is really good news for Zapdos. Zapdos builds up to the Thunderbolt, baiting with a Drill Peck. Drill Peck gets a shield from Kyogre. That is a big bait, because these waterfalls are definitely adding up onto the Zapdos. Zapdos is going to respect the Surf with the shield. Zapdos continuing to overfarm, and is going to fire off the Thunderbolt, hoping the opponent decides to call a bait. Thunderbolt does get shielded. Opponent must have something else in the back that is weak to Zapdos, because they are double shielding this Kyogre. Kyogre going for the farm down, but Zapdos says no. Able to reach a final Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt will KO the Kyogre and win lead. In comes Dialga, and you definitely just stay in here, because that way you get alignment, and you can align that Dialga onto Buzzwole. Dialga is going to be able to fire off an Iron Head. That's going to do some solid damage. Opponent goes for a catch, and they have Togekiss in the back, so it makes sense why they chose to stay in here. Genesect fires off the Magnet Bomb. That deals a ton of damage. Togekiss continuing to farm up, but they cannot reach a Flamethrower before Genesect is able to reach the Magnet Bomb. Magnet Bomb takes them out. Back in comes Dialga. Dialga has to farm down to win, but that is not going to happen. Genesect, Techno Blast, taking out Dialga, and that is a good game. All in all, I would say these are probably some of the spiciest open Master League battles that I've seen. Combining a Shundo Zapdos, Buzzwole, and then Chill Drive Genesect, and being able to take down some Metamons along the way makes for some pretty entertaining viewing. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.